Greetings, magical mavens. Are you feeling like you don't know enough about the witchy path to call yourself a witch? It's a really common thing in the witchy community to feel like there's just too much to learn and so little time. There are so many magical subjects, and you want to educate yourself on all of them. Sometimes you find yourself absorbing a lot of information from books, podcasts, and YouTube channels, but aren't sure what to actually do with that information in your own personal practice. Other times you might just get analysis paralysis and stop practicing altogether because it's just too overwhelming to know where to start. You may even feel hesitant to call yourself a witch, or like you won't be accepted into the witchy community because you're not educated enough on the craft, or you don't have a legit enough magical practice. Well, what if I told you that none of those things are actually prerequisites to claiming your magic as a witch? You don't have to learn all or any of the witchy subjects in order to validate your practice. Even though modalities like the Wheel of the Year, astrology, tarot, and spellcasting can be immensely helpful and fun to work with, I want you to know that none of those things are what makes someone a witch or not. You can be a witch without ever celebrating a Sabbath, knowing your zodiac signs, reading cards, or even casting a single spell. Yes, you heard that right. If you're listening to my podcast or watching my YouTube channel, you know how much I sing the praises of some of those modalities myself, so it may shock you to hear me say this to you, but it's true. What makes you a witch is your own natural magic. And witches, whether they were called by the name witch or not, have existed in all places, times, and walks of life, regardless of whether they had access to educational resources on any of these things we consider Witchcraft 101 now. Being a witch is a natural personality trait, not a certification you get after passing your OWL exams like a Hogwarts student. I'm passionate about reminding magical folk that you don't need outside validation in order to be the powerful being that you are. Whether or not your magic resembles anybody else's, you have your own natural gifts, rituals, inspirations, and intuition. And those are all you really need. You don't need to be doing it in any particular way in order to be doing it right. Being a rebellious Aquarius with quick self-starting Aries moon energy, I'm really good at knowing when to say screw the rules and do things my own way. But at the same time, I also have a very air-heavy chart, so I do love to constantly educate myself on magical subjects of all kinds. So in my 8+ years of officially calling myself a witch, I've become really good at both holding space for you to gain experiential knowledge of the modalities of the craft and giving you full permission to take the parts that feel aligned with you and not worry about all the rest. Even though I love to do an insane amount of research on various aspects of spirituality and magic, I've also gotten really clear on which aspects of the path resonate with me most and which ones don't. And by super simplifying my personal practice to just focus on the most aligned things in the most sustainable way, I've been able to craft a lifestyle for myself that feels genuinely magical, expansive, and fulfilling. And I don't need to feel like I'm missing out on anything, because it's also important to be aware that your path is always allowed to evolve. For example, I used to be absolutely obsessed with tarot cards for many years, and I got so much out of it. But now I'm in touch with my intuition in ways that are less reliant on tools, and I rarely find myself pulling cards for myself anymore. Now I mainly just use them to do readings for clients and sometimes as symbolic talismans in my manifesting journey or in spell work. Astrology, on the other hand, is something I used to only dabble in because other subjects were more on the front burner for me, so to say. Whereas now I'm circling back around to astrology and learning it more actively in a way that easily fits into my now established practice of seasonal living. Even some of my beliefs have changed along the path. For example, I always found the mythology of gods and goddesses to be interesting from the standpoint of human psychology, but never really had experiential faith in them as actual entities that I could be in dialogue with. Until I started getting signs from them in hard-to-ignore ways through my divination tools, and discovered that perhaps there's more to that. And full disclosure, I still don't know for sure what exactly my beliefs are around some of the more mystical mysteries in life. I don't have a matron and patron deity that I work with consistently. I don't have a daily practice that I do exactly the same way every single day. I'm not 100% solid in any one belief about the afterlife, ghosts, or fairies. I'm not 100% sure how the Hermetic principles and universal laws work, or have any totally foolproof methods for manifesting. And you think of me as a real witch, right? Well, I think of you as a real witch too, regardless of where you're at in your journey. What's really helped me to build my confidence, my path, and my practice has been creating a sense of freedom within structure. By narrowing down all the witchy subjects to just the one that really resonates with me the most, the Wheel of the Year, and allowing the rest of my practice to unfold with that as the stable foundation, I've been able to both simplify things and expand along my path at the same time. The reason I love and preach seasonal living so much is because once we peel away all the layers of dogmatism and mythology that have been layered over it, it provides a simple, powerful, and universal structure that can support you to learn to trust in the universe and to trust in yourself. Whether or not you believe in the Wiccan interpretations of the Sabbats or the traditions normally associated with them, the universal plant, tend, harvest, compost cycle that lies at the core of the Wheel of the Year is our accessible glimpse into the mechanics of how the universe works. And by simply focusing on the natural themes of each season in whatever ways genuinely resonate with us, we're able to tap into that magic and step into more empowered versions of ourselves in all areas of life. It prompts us to go through our own unique cycle of self-awareness, self-actualization, cleansing of outdated belief systems, and rebirth into our next best version each year of our lives. This is why I've designed the Patreon community around the simple, powerful prompts of the seasons. It's not to force the vastness of your magical life into a rigid structure. Quite to the contrary, it's to create a framework where your natural magic informs how you interact with the natural themes of the universe, so you can get clear on what does and doesn't resonate with you at this point in your journey, as you step out of your old self-limiting conditioning and into your true power. This time of year, as the year is just shaping up, is the perfect time to begin the journey of starting or re-simplifying your witchy practice. The Sabbath season of February's Eve, which I consider to be the 6 weeks surrounding the 1st of February, holds an underlying theme of self-love, self-care, and cleansing away anything that isn't authentically nurturing you, setting the stage for the new, more you version of you that you're emerging into later in the spring. Lately, myself and the other magical mavens in the Writing Witch community have been talking a lot about reclaiming our natural magic in 2023, but what does that actually entail? While there's an infinite amount of ways that you could do that, depending on your personal desires, one overarching truth seems to ring true for just about everyone that I've chatted with about this. That reclaiming your natural magic comes along with balancing your whole authentic being. I found this to be true for me too. The strongest motivations that I've had for crafting an authentically magical lifestyle have been the same desires that so many subscribers have voiced to me recently. Wanting freedom of expression rather than cramming yourself into societal norms in some way. Getting back to self after a challenging year or couple of years so you can be reborn and truly bloom anew in 2023. Upping your confidence and daily gratitude game and getting to experience more magic, optimism, and positivity in your everyday life. Feeling more connected to nature or a sense of belonging in the universe. Feeling less hectic and having a schedule that actually allows room to prioritize self-reflection. Strengthening self-worth and boundaries, aka not feeling guilty taking time for yourself. Being able to say no and remembering that no is a complete sentence. Holding space for yourself with as much grace as you hold space for others. Allowing yourself to receive from yourself and others. Stopping people-pleasing and allowing yourself to do what you really feel called to do. These are exactly the kinds of desires that I had when I first ventured into seasonal living about 8 years ago now, and they're also some of the exact same themes that I've done an even deeper dive into after that dark night of the soul that I experienced circa the lockdown years. And conveniently, these are also the exact same themes that the prompts of the seasons are there to help us embody when we look at the Wheel of the Year as a personal development tool. Living seasonally invites us to balance our whole being and step into more of who we really are as each season progresses. It encompasses the themes of all 5 of the alchemical elements, which are the building blocks of our reality as well as the vital aspects of being human. And the best part is, we have the ability to both grow leaps and bounds in a single season if that's what's most aligned, And we also have permission to not have to figure it all out at once if that doesn't feel sustainable. The way I split up the prompts throughout each season, every aspect of our whole being is being addressed in its ideal time during the year. So we can slow down and make peace with where we're at in each present moment of the journey, while also healing and growing stronger. Are you craving more grace, flow, ease, and alignment in your everyday life for the new year ahead? If this resonated with you, then I would love to invite you to join me and other magical mavens for a seasonal challenge that'll help you connect to your desires and manifest more fulfillment each season on the Witch's calendar. You may already be familiar with the Wheel of the Year, but have you actually tried the art of living seasonally to experience more flow in your everyday life? Whether you've just been researching or dabbling in the Witch's calendar, or if you're a seasoned witch, pun intended, this guided journaling adventure is sure to awaken new or renewed love for your path, craft, and practice. Join us on Patreon in time to partake in our February's Eve/Imbolc Seasonal Living Challenge. It'll be taking place during Aquarius season, my zodiac sign, which is the season of throwing away the rules that don't work for you and reinventing yourself as the sovereign individual that you truly are. Every Wednesday for 5 weeks around the Sabbath season, I'll be posting a prompt to help you maximize your fulfillment by harnessing the themes of the Sabbath. Patrons who post a response to every discussion prompt this season will be entered to win a package of paper craft goodies from the Writing Witch shop. The Wheel of the Year serves as a guide to a healthy, balanced, and fulfilling life. It's not just about observing and celebrating in some prescribed way 8 days out of the year. The true magic of seasonal living lies in the everyday experiences that take place between the Sabbaths. Each of the 8 seasons contains powerful energies and themes that we can easily harness to keep ourselves inspired, growing, resting, giving, and receiving, and of course, releasing that which no longer serves. The prompts will help you feel grounded and at peace in whatever season of your life you're in, and will help you to observe your own needs, desires, and patterns. This helps you to improve your self-care routines with each year going forward. Each season on the Witch's calendar is about 6 weeks long, giving us ample time and space to experience the themes of the season as we grow and evolve. The prompts I'll be posting each week correspond to the prompts included in my printable journaling pages, which will be included in your membership. So I of course invite you to write longer and more personal responses in your own grimoire, and then share your biggest takeaways on the challenge posts in our private Patreon community. Or you can just do the discussion prompts and skip the journaling if you feel like you don't have time this season. Even just leaving a short comment on each post will help you to focus on what's most important to you this season and be more magnetic to your desires. So if you haven't already heard, here's how to join our seasonal living challenge in time for the Imbolc/February's Eve season. All you need to do to participate is join any tier on Patreon and be aware that the challenge begins Wednesday, January 18th, when the first post goes live. There will be 1 challenge post per week for 5 weeks, leading up to the final post, which will come out February 15th. Challenge prompts will always come out on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and a winner will be selected randomly 1 week after the 5th and final prompt is posted around February 22nd. If you're not already a patron, I invite you to sign up now, as there's a special bonus for joining by midnight Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, January 18th. If you join the lower tier, you get a free physical copy of my beautifully designed seasonal grimoire pages, which include information on the Sabbath, as well as the journal prompts that we'll be doing in the challenge. Or if you join the higher tier, you get a free tarot reading with me for the year ahead. Myself and the other magical mavens in the group would absolutely love to get to know you and learn with you and from you in the season ahead. Because whether you're a newbie or a seasoned witch, your unique perspective is a valid and valuable part of the conversation around seasonal living. To join, just go to www.patreon.com/thewritingwitch or go to the link in the episode description. Thank you so much for being your magical self, and I will see you in the challenge. Blessed be.